Good evening, everybody. I am Tatum. I'm the founder of Guardian Voice of the Missing, and this is the weekly podcast where we will be covering multiple cases of missing persons, sharing some resources, and just giving support for the loved ones there. If you guys feel free to comment on anything that you guys want. This is a discussion. Just keep in mind, please be respectful because we do have family members that are out here on the podcast. And we want to make sure that this is a safe place for everyone, especially for the loved ones and especially for our missing. Thank you all for joining. And I do have quite a few cases today. I actually had a last minute case that I'm adding to the podcast to help the family get their loved one located. Someone said, hello, Tatum. One thing that I'll let you guys know is if you are watching on the group, and you haven't, up at the top, I have where you can allow StreamYard to let me know who you are. You'll have to go out there. Otherwise, I will not know who you are until after the podcast is ended. But welcome, everybody. Like I said, if there's family members that are out there, feel free to comment, add anything that you want. And then, like I said, there's a lot of families around here, so please just be respectful. The first case I'm going to cover, I'm going to continue to cover this case. This is a critical missing teenager, and there has been at least one, possibly two sightings of her, but I told the family I would continue to share her. There is concern for her safety and well-being. This is Caitlin Woolery. She's missing out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania on November 23rd of 2023. She is 17 years old, 5'3", 115 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She does have her nose and her ears pierced. She was wearing that beaded necklace that has the name Blake on it and that cross necklace there in the picture. Caitlin may go by Bug or Little Bit. She was last seen wearing a black hoodie, Crocs, jeans around November 23rd, 2023, when she went for a walk around the block in the area of Oaklawn Avenue by Uniontown High School in Uniontown, Pennsylvania on November 23rd. She had her cell phone with her, and it last pinged about 10 blocks away at Potter's Bar around 11:15 on November 26th of 2023. Since then, it has been off and unable to ping her location. She has not been active on social media and has not contacted her friends or loved ones, which is out of character for her. Loved ones are concerned, like I said, for her safety and well-being. If you have any information regarding Caitlin's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call 911 or the Uniontown, Pennsylvania Police Department at 724-430-2929. I know that her family is very concerned about her safety and well-being. And like I said, there has been some sightings of her. A couple were confirmed that they weren't her at all, but she is still believed to be in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. So anybody that is out there, please share her flyer. If you see her, call 911 immediately. And hopefully we can get her back home. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Hi, Sharon. It's good to see you guys. Sharon is a really great advocate out there. She shares a lot of flyers to multiple groups and everything. So she is a good resource for you as well. Ellen is a family member, and she is amazing also at sharing flyers, not only for her loved one's case, but she does share flyers for other people's cases. And that's one thing that I really want to share about anybody that's new to the podcast or new to my page. There are some really, really great advocates out there that I work with and have met that are really, fight really hard and are the voice for you guys out there that are missing loved ones. But also we really have some really, really great families out there that not only do they share their missing loved one, but they share and support other missing families and stuff like that. So definitely, like I said, my platform, I be a safe place for everybody to feel comfortable to share and come here. The next case is Augustine Macas. He is missing out of Simi Valley, California on November 20th of 2024. He was 74 years old at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 83, 5'7", 145 pounds, gray hair and brown eyes. He does suffer from dementia. He was last seen wearing a light brown long shirt, a black wool jacket, blue jeans, black shoes, and a black baseball cap with a yellow S as in Sam insignia. He is known to be an avid walker, and he had left for his daily walk in the area of Tate Street and Los Angeles Avenue. However, he has never been seen or heard from again. If you have any information regarding Augustine's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Simi Valley, California Police Department at 805-583-6950. Again, if you guys will get flyers shared out there, that would be great. That is a simple way and a big way to really help get the missing located. This next case is a case that I will continue to share every time that I am doing the weekly podcast. This is Rebecca Demery. Rebecca Demery has been missing from Odessa, Texas since March 1st of 2023. She was 32 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 33, 5'5", 190 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She does wear glasses and has a mole on the left side of her neck. She's always wearing that gold necklace that is down there. That is a cross. That is a unique, one-of-a-kind cross necklace that was made for her. So if you see that necklace, no one else should have it other than Rebecca. This is the only picture that I have of it, but basically, if you cannot really see it very well, it looks like little hearts that there are multiple hearts that are made into a cross. Both of her ears are pierced, but she doesn't wear earrings. She does have her tongue pierced. She has a history of seizures and has recently had one while she was in the hospital. She has a tattoo of the flowers that you can see right there is the picture of what it looks like on her left arm and a heart design on her right arm. She does go by the name Becca. In last contact with her loved ones, which, by the way, she did talk to them on a daily basis. She last spoke to them on the phone on February 28th of 2023 when she called to see if she could get a ride from the hospital. Her loved ones were out of town and were not able to come pick her up. She was last seen leaving the hospital with someone that day. Becca's loved ones texted her on March 1st, but however, they never got a response from her. She has never been seen or heard from again. There have multiple searches for Becca in the area around Odessa. However, there has not been any significant leads, and she has not been located. She was last seen wearing that long sleeve gray shirt with the plaid hem at the bottom, black pants, and gray athletic shoes with a white sole. She was carrying that black and teal backpack that you can see in the photo, and she was last seen about 3:50 a.m. in southeast Odessa. Foul play is suspected in her case. One thing to know is Rebecca is not familiar with the Odessa area. She does not have any family that live in the Odessa area. There were some reports that were made that she was there seeing a relative, and those are not true. So she does not know that area. And like I said, she was always in contact multiple times during the day with her loved one. So foul play, like I said, is suspected. Law enforcement is very diligent working on her case, and hope someone out there will speak up because somebody knows something in regards to her case. I'll let you know that I do have some advocates that are out there doing hashtags. Hashtags are always really good with your missing persons and stuff because people can click on those and it'll pull up information with the hashtag. So if you'll see Allison with Missing Persons Alert Nationwide is doing a lot of hashtagging. I don't know if Sarah's on yet. She'll be doing a bunch of hashtagging and promoting the cases and getting information out there for you guys as well. Missing Persons Alert is another really great platform on Facebook for you guys to go out and share your missing persons information. There is one for each state, but also there is a main page and a group page for you guys to share. So those are really good pages. Sky Alerts is another really platform to get information out there as well. So I'll continue to try to share as much as I can of people and let you guys know what are good places for you guys to go out there and share. Hi, Sherry. That's okay that you're late. I know everybody is busy and stuff, but thank you for joining. The next case is Bradley McCoy. He's missing out of Houston, Texas, August 27th of 2022. He was 47 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is 48, 5'9", 150 pounds. He had red auburn hair and hazel eyes. He does have a goatee. There's very little information on his case, but if you have any information regarding Bradley's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Harrison County, Texas Sheriff's Office at 713-321-6000. There are a lot of cases out there that there's just not a whole lot of information on there. So if there's a family member or a friend or something that has more information on any of these cases that I show, please feel free to reach out. And let me know, and we can add more stuff to their flyers. This next case is an older case back from March 9th of 1976. This is Brian Thomas Vargo. He's missing out of Austin, Texas. At the time of his disappearance, he was 20 years old. He is now 6 foot tall, 150 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. As you can see, this is an age progression picture for him that has been done. He does have a chipped front tooth and a scar from a snake bite on his finger. He walks with his feet turned outward. So Brian was attending the University of Texas in Austin. However, he had withdrawn from school on March 9th, 1976 without telling his family. It was reported that he had traveled to spend his break on a dude ranch in Colorado. However, his white Mazda RX-2 with Texas license plate AAEG81 broke down. He had left his car with a mechanic and traveled by bus back to his parents' home in Houston to get his title so he could sell his car. His mother had dropped him off at the bus station in Katy, Texas, and assumed that he was traveling back to get his car in Colorado. After spring break ended, the family was contacted and never returned to school or his apartment where he lived off campus with roommates. His mother contacted the police. However, she was told that he was an adult and he could go missing if he wants. When the family went to get his belongings, they found his wallet and other belongings, suggesting that he didn't return. It is reported that he never returned for his car at the mechanic shop. He was not officially reported missing until 2021, which was 45 years after he was last seen. There's been no activity on his Social Security number since 1976. If you have any information regarding Brian's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Austin, Texas Police Department at 512-974-5250. I found his case, just very interesting, how it was, back in 1970s where, it was okay for you to go to adult, and a lot of adults never got reported missing. And there's several cases like Brian's where they've been reported missing until recently. One thing that I want everybody to know is there is no longer waiting periods to report your loved one missing. Doesn't matter if they're an adult or not, or a child. There is no waiting period in any of the states. I've read pretty much all the state statutes. So when people tell you that they're an adult and they can go missing, that's true. I will give you that. That is true. However, you know you're missing one the most. When people are in contact with someone all the time, or they have children, or they're working, or they're going to school, and, you know, when their behavior comes, they go missing, and that's a big red flag for a lot of people. So if you guys are having trouble making missing persons reports, please feel free to reach out. If the city won't do it, try the sheriff. If the sheriff won't do it, try the state. You know, don't take no for an answer. Like I said, there is no period anymore. And yes, adults can go missing if they want, but at the same time, the longer you wait to make a missing persons report, the harder it is. Like, law enforcement loses time to find them. So if you ever run into it, because I have helped other families get missing persons reports done for their families, don't be discouraged. Let them know that, you know, that your state statute says that you have to make a missing persons report. So just let me know. We can get you in contact, you know, with law enforcement and help you get your loved one located and get that report out. And like I said, do not wait. Do not wait to make a report. Make a report immediately. It just helps law enforcement a lot faster to get them located. Hopefully, depending on each case is different, but the sooner you get them reported, the better. This next case is Drew Christopher Morrison. He is missing out of Spokane, Washington on September 23rd of 2023. He was 34 years old, 5'6" to 5'8", 150 to 180 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. Now, it is said that he had curly brown hair, which was past his shoulders. However, it looks like a dark blonde. He has the blue eyes, but he doesn't wear contacts or glasses. He does have that tattoo on his left forearm with two owls by each other and the name Eva above it and a heart in the place of the V. Drew is known to live homeless. He typically earns money by playing the guitar and singing. Drew has been known to travel between California, Oregon, Washington, and Oklahoma. If you have any information regarding Drew's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Oklahoma Police Department at 452-227-1129. As you guys will see, I have changed, as you can see on Drew's flyer, I have changed the look of my flyer a little bit. Just to let you know, if you do see it, that is me. I have changed the design of the flyer. As you can see on the two flyers behind me, that's what my old flyer looked like. And I did change the way it looks. So just so you know, that is me. No one is copying my flyer. This next case is a case that was brought to me. I'd heard of her case before, and someone had asked me if I would start sharing it into a flyer for her because social media, it kind of seemed like it kind of died down. I know her mom is very advocate. I see her post all the time about Rochelle. So I'm going to continue to share her regularly because I want to keep her case out there for her loved ones. So this is Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond. She is missing out of Muskogee, Colorado on August 15th of 2019. She was 30 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 35. 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She did have black shoulder-length hair at the time. She does have her septum pierced with that silver circular barbell. She does have multiple tattoos, a star on her left arm, a scar on her right hand, a cat with a bong on her shoulder, live like a lion on her upper chest, a star behind her ear, stars on the inside of her forearms, and others. As you can see, I do have the photographs on her flyer. Next time I will try to get those put up on screen for you guys so you can see them a little bit better. She does suffer from bipolar and schizophrenia. She is prescribed medication which was left behind. She is Cherokee descent. For anybody that doesn't know, anybody who is Indigenous, I always put the red handprint up there to identify that they are Indigenous. Because a lot of our Indigenous cases are not getting coverage probably as much as they should. I know it's getting better, but I always like to just make sure that their flyers are identified with the red handprint. She was last seen wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, and black Nike shoes, walking away from her home in Mescal, California on August 15th of 2019 around 11 a.m. She'd only been living in that area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance and previously had lived in Columbus, Ohio. All of her belongings, including her ID, phone, medication, car, dog, computer, and tools, were all left behind. She may be living homeless. Family does believe that she did not leave on her own accord and may be a victim to human trafficking. Loved ones are concerned for her safety and welfare. There have been many tips that she may be in California or Massachusetts. However, there has been little movement in her case. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Alamosa County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608. Okay. This next case that I'm going to share, I just got right before the podcast. So please, his flyer is out on Guardian and out on already several other platforms. Please help this family and get this shared because it is a fairly recent case and we're wanting to get that information out there. This is Ethan Zachary Wynn. He is missing from Saucer, Mississippi on February 3rd, 2024. He's 25 years old, 6'4", 270 pounds, brown hair, and brown eyes. He does have that picture of the treble clef tattoo on his right upper arm. Ethan does suffer from schizophrenia, and he had not been on his medication in over a week. He was traveling from Mississippi to Houston, Texas with a family member. They were pulled over in Mont Belvieu, Texas on February 3rd, 2024 at 4 p.m. for a traffic stop. It is reported at some point he left on foot and has not been seen or heard from again. His family member had returned back to Mississippi. He has no cell phone, has had no activity on social media, but he may be in the Houston area. If you have any information regarding Ethan's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Vadero, Texas Police Department at 409-769-4561. Like I said, you guys, I just got his case right before the podcast and got a flyer out for him. So anybody that has the information, he is from Mississippi. And this is something like with these cases, he's from Mississippi, but he was traveling to Houston and he was right on, from what they understand, is that he could be in the Houston area because when they got pulled over, that area is close to Houston. So sharing his flyer in Houston and everything is a good idea, but also, sharing within any of the states between Mississippi and Texas is always a good idea. I'm checking comments. Sandy and Jason, you are most welcome. We will continue to share and get that out there for you guys and be the voice for your loved ones. This next case is a little older case. This is Frank Joseph Martinez. He's missing out of San Dimas Canyon, California on April 1st, 2010. He was 51 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 65, 6'3", 200 pounds, brown hair, and brown eyes. He does wear black rim glasses, and he is missing his lower teeth. Frank's relatives had reported him missing to the U.S. Forest Service personnel when they had found his truck parked at the top of the San Dimas Canyon Road near the reservoir. His keys were in the ignition, and his cell was found in his truck. The windows were rolled down, but there were no tracks leading away from his vehicle. Law enforcement with other agencies have searched the canyon and the shorelines of the San Dimas reservoir, with dogs and a helicopter. He was not located, and the search was called off after 2 weeks. If you have any information regarding Frank's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Pomona, California Police Department at 909-622-1241. With this case, I thought it was interesting that they saw no tracks leading away from his vehicle. I thought that was very interesting. That was noted that um, they did not find any tracks. And like I said, if you guys have cases that you want covered, I don't care how old they are. Someone asked me today to do cold cases. I have no problem doing older cases. I think it's always good to do them. And there have been a lot of cold cases that have been found, and individuals have been found and located. So yeah, I will do any case that you guys want me to do out there and get information out there. This next case is a case out of California, another California case. There's a lot of California cases today, you guys. Eugene James Sharp, he's missing out of Happy Camp, California on October 10th of 2021. He was 76 years old. He is now 79, 6'2", 200 pounds. He has gray hair and green eyes. He does wear glasses and he does have a beard. He was last known wearing an unknown colored flannel shirt, a white shirt, blue jeans, buttons in the early morning hours just after midnight. He had left his trailer with a flashlight. There was a report early that he was last seen on October 9th of 2021 around 9 p.m. walking westbound on China Grade Road, possibly heading towards town. The only difference in what he was wearing was it was a brown flannel and a gray hat in addition to the white shirt and blue jeans. He has never been seen or heard from again. If you have any information regarding Eugene's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Skyview County, California Sheriff's Department at 530-842-8300. And I know I'm moving along with these cases. Like I said, there are a lot of cases today to share. But if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to put it in. I am checking comments as I go. This next is Jason Michael DeMilo. He's missing out of Bay Point, California on March 1st, 1996. He was 24 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 52. 6 foot tall, 180 pounds, brown hair, and green eyes. He does have a scar on his left cheek and a birthmark on his stomach. Jason has a skull and knife tattoo on his upper right arm. There is very little information on his case. If you have any information regarding Jason's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Contra Costa County, California office of the sheriff at 925-335-1500. It always makes me a little sad that a lot of these older cases, there's just not a whole lot of information out there on these cases. So again, if there's anybody that, has any information, please let me know if there's anything else that I can get added to their flyer. This case is a case that I came across, and I actually did speak to law enforcement on this case. So 2 different databases had 2 different information on Jay Lee's age. This is the correct age for her. This is the one that is out in Namath. However, the Nebraska State Highway Patrol did have her age at 25-26. That was incorrect. Law enforcement said that they were going to change that. So in case if you did see out on the Nebraska State Highway Patrol that she is 25-26, that is incorrect. She is actually 17 at the time of her disappearance, and she's now 18. So this is Jaylee Sinoas. She's missing out of Lincoln, Nebraska on February 7th of 2023. Like I said, she was 17 at the time of her disappearance. She is now 18. 5'4" to 5'5", 150 to 160 pounds. Brown hair and brown eyes. She does have a tattoo of Chinese letter on her face and a rose on her left hand. She was last seen wearing a black Nike coat and black Nike pants. There is very little information out on her case. If you have any information regarding Jaylee's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Lincoln, Nebraska Police Department at 402-441-6000. It always concerns me when these young kids have been missing for long periods of time, and then just very little information out on them. So hopefully she will be located soon. This next case is a case out of Alaska. This is Jamie Ellen Loom. She is missing out of Fairbanks, Alaska on December 21st, 2023. She is 16 years old, 5'4", 145 pounds, brown hair, and brown eyes. Jamie was last seen wearing dark-colored sweats, leaving the Street Outreach Advocacy, or what they call SOAP, at 10 a.m. If you have any information regarding Jamie's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Fairbanks, Alaska Police Department at 907-450-6500 or the Alaska State Troopers at 907-269-5511. And hopefully somebody out there will recognize her and get her back home. So the next two cases I will continue to share. They do kind of sort of go together. I will do my disclaimer on this again. And I'll explain more when I do them. So the one individual has been missing for quite a while. The second individual went missing here just at the end of the year of last year. They're connected because they were dating at the time of the first one's disappearance. A lot of people, when the second one went missing, said that no one should be out there looking at him. There was a lot of negative stuff on social media. And one thing that her family said that, despite everything in regards to their cases, he could have a link for them to find their loved ones. So sharing him is just as important. Second of all, I don't get to pick and choose who I share as an advocate. At least for me, I feel like being a missing person's advocate, if someone goes missing, I need to share. Now, granted, I can't share everybody. I wish I could. But I can't cover all the cases of the missing, but I will cover cases no matter what. The individual is missing. They need to be located. So if anybody has any comments or negativity, please don't do it on my platform because it will get you removed from my platform. I'm not here to judge anybody with their past, present, or anything in their life. That is not our business. So the reason I'm really on this case is because there was so much negative response to one of the individuals going missing. And I will continue to keep their cases out there until they're located. So I'm going to share Kendra first. Kendra Nicole Bautillo. She is missing out at Eden, Oklahoma on July 5th of 2022. She was 24 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 26. 5'8", 115 pounds, hair and brown eyes. Now, as you can see, I have shared her hair was like that top picture. It's black. It was short and buzzed. However, she does wear different wigs. So I kind of showed some different looks that she may have. She does have brown eyes. She does have both of her ears pierced, and she does have dimples. Kendra is enrolled in the Mesquite Creek Nation. She does have mental health and substance abuse issues. She was staying at the 1400 block of West Randolph in Enid. She was last had contact by phone by her loved one at midnight on July 7th of 2022. There was a report that she had been seen in July 20th of 22 knocking on the door of a house in Pawnee, Oklahoma, and had asked for a glass of water. When the individual found out she was missing, she did report that to the police. But it has not been confirmed that this was Kendra. It was reported that it is unusual for Kendra to not have contact with loved ones or be active on social media. Her cell phone goes straight to voicemail. Her social media accounts have had no activity, and loved ones have not heard from her. Like I said, this was a girl that was very much talks to her family all the time. A few days prior to her disappearance, there was a bond hearing for her boyfriend, Colby, for a domestic abuse case, which Kendra was the victim. The case was dismissed after she went missing. There have been searches and tips that have been covered. However, Kendra has not been located. Loved ones are concerned for her safety or well-being. Foul play is suspected in Kendra's case. If you have any information regarding Kendra's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Enid Police Department at 802-242-7000. One of the things with Kendra's case, I guess, that bothers me the most is the fact that they dropped the domestic violence case that she had because she went missing and she didn't go to court. I don't believe that's right. but for whatever reason, that case was dropped. So now I'm going to go to the next person. The next person is Colby Shepard. Colby Shepard is the ex-boyfriend of Kendra. He went missing from Enid, Oklahoma on December 28th of 2023. He is 27 years old, 6 foot to 6'2", 160 to 170 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. He had a full beard with reddish in color, but he had recently dyed his hair blonde prior to him going missing. He does have a tattoo on the left side of his chest. Colby was last seen wearing a blue shirt, blue jeans, and a gray hat. His last contact with his mother phone on December 28th of 2023. His last known vehicle is a tan/gold Honda Civic 4-door with Oklahoma tag OJE660. If you have any information regarding Colby's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Enid, Oklahoma Police Department at 580-242-7000. Like I said, in this case, I will continue to share them together because there is a possibility if Colby is found, it would give more information on where the location is of Kendra. So, but again, he is a missing person despite his past history and despite, him and Kendra's relationship. It's important for him to be shared. April says, thank you for the cases because there's still somebody's family despite the circumstances. I agree. And that's like my biggest thing. I have flyers out there on people that are not such great people, but they need to be located no matter what. And like I said, I don't pick and choose. I don't judge. And the bottom line is I'm here to help find missing people. So anything I can do to help, I'm going to do. This next case is Jennifer Ann Fowler. She's missing out of Walnut Creek, California on November 20th of 2008. She was 29 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's 34, 5'5", 140 to 160 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. Jennifer's car is still parked in the same location as it was when she went missing. So I found this piece of information that was out there that was released by law enforcement. I'm not really sure if that's still true today or if they meant when she went missing, her car was still there. But I went ahead and put it on the flyer. There are very few details in her case. So if you have any information on Jennifer's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Contra Costa County, California office of the sheriff at 925-335-1500. And someone out there hopefully has some information. This next case is a case out of Shawnee, Oklahoma. This is Jeremy J. Dixon. He is missing out of Shawnee, Oklahoma on March 30th, 2023. He was 40 years old at the time of his disease. He is now 41. 5'9", 150 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Normally, he has contact with his family, and they are very concerned for his safety and welfare. He may have traveled to Kansas. Again, his case has little information out there. If you have any information on Jeremy's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Shawnee, Oklahoma Police Department at 405-273-2121. And like my biggest thing right now is people sharing flyers. I don't expect everybody to share like a lot of us advocates share or the family share, all the time. But even if you could share 1 to 2 flyers today, it can make all the difference in the world. It doesn't matter if you live out in California and the person is missing from Texas. There's always that possibility that someone on your social media or a friend of theirs on social media might be able to share it to someone that may have information. A lot of these cases like Jeremy, there's a possibility he could be in Kansas. So, definitely sharing around the states that are around where someone went missing, I think is always really a great idea. That is something even for family, feel free to share all over the place because you never know who may come across it and may be affiliated with somebody that may have some information. So sharing is one of the best ways for anybody out there to help. All you have to do is click and send, and that's it. It's simple. It's easy. I would like to see in 2024 that, all these flyers get shared thousands of times, if possible. It's a great way for people to be found. And sometimes, we can see that, people are looking at the flyers, or they, send an emoji on the flyer, but they're not sharing the flyer. So please, anybody out there, if you see a flyer of a missing person, go ahead and click share, because you never know who may have information out there for their loved ones. This next case is Jeremy Perrigan Shirley. He is missing out of Bishop, California. He went missing on November 2nd of 2023. He is 48 years old, 6'3", 175 pounds. He has white grayish hair and blue eyes. He suffers from mental health issues and is believed to be off medication. There is concern for his safety and his well-being. He was last seen wearing a black jacket and pants, carrying that black and gray, this is an example, gray backpack, and riding a blue bicycle with a bright blue milk crate on the back and a black basket on the front at his home on Elm Street in Bishop, California, after he returned from a sundial dispensary. He had recently voiced concerns for his safety and wanted to hide out somewhere. Then he turned off all of his electronic devices and left. He has not been in contact with loved ones or seen since. He could be on foot and without his bicycle. He left behind his cell phone, his bank cards, his medical cards, and has had no banking activity. It is possible he may have his passport, but that hasn't been confirmed. He does have ties in Ohio, Arizona, and New Zealand. However, he does not normally go far from home. If you have any information regarding Jeremy's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Bishop, California Police Department at 760-873-5866. And hopefully somebody out there has some information on his location. And another advocate is on here, Siri is on here sharing stuff in the comments on hashtags and stuff. So thank you, Saoirse. I appreciate it. This next case, I really had to do some research to get his height and his weight and his hair color and stuff. He is not in NamUs. I will tell you guys that, but he is actively missing. Not really sure why he's not in NamUs, but I have tried to reach out to the family to see about getting them help to get him in the NamUs database. This is Justin David Sigonora. He is missing out of Hancock County, Mississippi, September 17th of 2021. He was 35 years old at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 37, 5'7", 150 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have a colostomy bag and has a medical condition that may impair his judgment. He does have multiple tattoos, as you can see in the pictures, which I need to get those added to his flyer. He does have a heart with a cross inside on his chest, a tribal sun on his chest, tribal lion on his right shoulder, spider web on his right elbow, and both of his arms are covered with unknown tattoos. So just multiple different tattoos. As you can see, it looks like maybe he's got a tiger on there. He's got some lettering and some other pictures. He does have it looks like life across his fingers, and he does have some sort of lettering on his neck. Justin was last seen wearing white gym shorts and red writing on them near Highway 603 and Hodero Road in Hancock County, Mississippi on September 17, 2021. It is reported that he was in possession of his phone after the date of last contact. He has never been seen or heard from again. So if you have any information regarding Justin's appearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Hancock County, Mississippi Sheriff at 228-466-6900. And like I said, I'm trying to work to see if I can get with family to get him in the NamUs database and also get his case number. It is, I haven't had a chance to talk to law enforcement to get that, but if anybody has any information, there's just not a whole lot of information out there on him either. But it does concern me that he has a colostomy bag. That is something that you need to keep up medically. But he also has some other medical issues that are going on. So hopefully someone out there knows something. This next case I will continue to share every time I do this podcast. This is Dana Jane Bruce. She's missing out of Sedalia, Missouri on October 4th of 2008. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance, now 37, 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, and she has green hazel eyes. And her brown hair did have red highlights in it. She is blind in her left eye. She has both of her ears pierced once. She does have a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. She has that tattoo that you see pictured on her upper left arm of a teddy bear with wings and a banner that says Dylan. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel on the front in silver lettering and blue. And the last time she was seen, she had went to the babysitter's home. She had been out that night celebrating at Maloney's Bar for their anniversary on Main Street there in Sedalia. She had returned to the babysitter's home where she had left them for the night to leave more money and to see if the babysitter would continue to watch her children for the rest of the night. She was seen with a young man at Maloney's Bar, and there was a young man driving a late model Ford 150 truck earlier in the night of her disappearance, and that she had left there around 11:30. So around midnight, 11:30, she was with this individual. Police have identified the man that she was last seen with that night of disappearance. He had traveled to Atlanta, Georgia, and the police did question him after he was arrested on some unrelated charges. However, he has never been named publicly. The police were calling him a person of interest, but he said that they had parted ways after he had left the bar and he had never seen her again. However, there is been reports that she had left with other individuals that night after the bar had closed, and that she had went to a house where there was like an after party or something gathering, and that something had happened. It was reported that something had happened there, and someone had disposed of Dana, had wrapped her up and everything in a carpet and disposed of her. And that there's actually another red F-150 Ford truck that is in connection to her case. One thing to know about Dana is Dana would never leave her children. She was a very devoted mother. Several people have said how devoted she was as a mother. She also, what is odd, that she is suspicious of the fact that she had just signed a lease for a new place for her and her kids the day that she went missing. She left all of her belongings behind. She doesn't have a bank account, credit cards, phone, or a vehicle. It was unknown if she had her ID at the time. And again, she was a devoted mom that never would leave or abandon her children. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. A lot of people, it is believed that there are a lot of people there in Sedalia that do know what happened to her. People that were close to her have information, and people are starting to talk and speak, and eventually someone is going to talk. And so if you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-826-8100 or 660-827-7823. One, especially in Dana's case and in a lot of these missing persons cases, that just really tugs on my heartstrings is the fact of the children. Whatever happened, but at least give their children some peace to know where their mother or father is. There's several cases that I've covered that the children were young. Dana's case is 15 years old. It's time to come forward and let someone know. You can leave anonymous tips. Anybody that sends me a tip, I will send that over to law enforcement. This is something that I just feel like it's been too long for her children. Again, like I said, several people have said how devoted she was as a mother. And I just feel like it's time for someone to come forward. And there are people that are talking, and I know there's people that are watching. Every time that anybody shares her flyers or talks about her case, there's people out there watching. So it's in their best interest to go ahead and come forward with the information that they have, because we know that they have information. I'm not for sure who said thank you for sharing Dana and Rochelle's flyers. You are most welcome. I will continue to share them. Like I said, Rochelle's case, I had seen a lot. Probably a year ago, I hadn't really seen a lot, and someone come and asked me if I would get her case back out there, and most definitely. This next case is Lakeitha Shan Slaughter. She is missing out of Stockton, California on November 8th, 2001. She was 28 years old at the time of her disappearance. She was now 50, 4 foot 11 inches, 115 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She does have a heart design tattoo on her chest and Mo Daddy on her right leg. She may go by the names Kiki, Lakeitha, Dennis, or Jasmine Perkins. She was last seen wearing a black leather coat, leaving a family member's home in South Stockton, California. She has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding Lakeitha's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Stockton, California Police Department at 209-937-8377. So a lot of these cases, there's just not a whole lot of information out there on them. Hopefully that will change and more information will be given. And yes, thanks, Ellen. I figured it was you. So thank you. Like I said, I'll continue to keep Dana's story out there for you guys. I have 4 more cases to share. I know it's a lot of cases, but I definitely wanted to get these out there for you guys. This next one is Kenneth Gray Reed. He is missing out of Squaqua, Mississippi, and I probably pronounced that wrong. On February 22nd, 2023, he was 30 years old. He is now 31, 5'8", 240 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He does have a surgical scar on his right knee. He does have multiple tattoos. These are the ones I could find and get pictures on. He has a spider on his left, Kenwood on his upper back and lower arm, a tribal on his upper arm, Almighty across his fingers, and Margaret, Little Mike, and Wendy on his forearm. He does suffer with a medical condition that may impair his judgment. He was last seen wearing a short sleeve hunter green t-shirt, black sweatpants, and black slides around 10:30 a.m. in the 6000 block of Lime Street in Oxby County, Mississippi, leaving a family member home. He was driving a blue 1998 Chevy Silverado truck with a Mississippi license plate NX1265. However, his truck was later located abandoned near an intersection on Mahorner Road and Paulette Road in Squaqua community. He has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding Kenneth's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call 911 or the Nomuxby County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office at 662-725-5332. And hopefully someone out there knows something. I think it's always good to share, even though the vehicle has been located, you never know if someone might have seen that vehicle and might have noticed something. So I always think it's good to keep that out there in the public. This next case is Sean Tyler Dickerson. He's missing out of San Francisco, California on December 2nd, 2011. He was 23 years old at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 35, 5'9", 145 pounds, sandy hair, and blue eyes. It was reported that he had recently dyed his hair brown at the time of his disappearance. He may go by Claus Agnes. He is a musician / music prodigy and a trend setter. He also may go by the name Trip and be affiliated with the Rainbow family. He was last seen wearing black slacks, gray sweater / hoodie, and black dress shoes, leaving his home at 11:30 a.m. It was reported that he had been running late to work, and that is where his roommates had originally thought he had went. It was found out later that he had quit his job the day prior, and he had been walking around to take photos around town. It is reported that he has been seen multiple times since his disappearance, but nothing has been confirmed as him. It is reported that he was known to climb up on roofs of buildings. including skyscrapers. I think that is really an important piece on his case of other places to look. If you have any information regarding Sean's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the San Francisco, California Police Department at 415-553-0123. If anybody has any information on him, please reach out to law enforcement and let's get Sean located. This next is Tanya Marie Nikolai. She is missing out of Anchorage, Alaska on December 23rd of 2023. She's 31 years old, 5'4", 127 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does have a tattoo on her left hand of the Forget Me Not flowers. She was last seen wearing an orange or a pink beanie, black pea coat, blue jeans, and blue boots with fur on them when she was going out with friends. She last contacted family via social media on December 24th of 2023. There have been numerous attempts to reach out to her by phone. However, they have been unsuccessful. If you have any information regarding Tanya's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Anchorage, Alaska Police Department at 907-786-8900 or Alaska State Troopers at 907-269-5511. Okay. And the last case of the night is Thomas Manuel Diaz. He is missing out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He went missing on May 11th of 2019. He was 36 years old. He would now be 41. 5'9" to 5'10", 160 pounds, sandy hair and brown eyes. He usually wears his hair back in a ponytail, but it could be down past his back. That's how long his hair was. He has his right eyebrow pierced and he has gauges in his ears. He may go by the name Tommy. He was last seen wearing a gray tank top and black shorts with green stripes on the side while riding a black bicycle made by Giant. It is reported that he was heading to New Orleans from Wilmington, North Carolina with his friends on bicycles. His friends and him had checked out of the Sand Bucket Motel on Ocean Boulevard in Myrtle Beach, where they had stayed from May 7th of 2019 to May 11th of 2019. They had stopped in Myrtle Beach to meet up with two other individuals. They had reported that they had gotten separated from Thomas, and it was reported that he was last seen arguing with a friend outside an Old Chicago Pizza in the Marilla Inlet, where his friend had gotten arrested and Thomas had rode off on his bike. His phone has been going straight to voicemail. He has not been on social media since 2018. Prior to his disappearance, he hadn't been on social media. Law enforcement has checked out tips and possible places, however, have not been able to locate him. It is possible that he may have left South Carolina and changed his name. If you have any information regarding Thomas's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Myrtle Beach, South Carolina Police Department at 843-918-1382. And hopefully somebody out there does know something about Thomas. So that is the last case that I have tonight. Like I said, if you guys do have any other cases, please let me know. Talking to families last week, we discussed a lot about the scamming that has been going on in multiple cases. Please, families, like I said, I won't put personal numbers out on flyers and stuff like that. Please protect yourself and not give out personal information. Make sure that you really look at who you're talking to and that they are credible people, because you just never know. If you hire, any type of agency to help you out, just be careful. Anything that could be a good tip, please share with law enforcement. Know that any little small tip could be the tip that law enforcement is looking at to find your missing loved one. That's about all that I have for you guys tonight. I appreciate everybody that has joined tonight. I know it was a lot of cases to cover. A lot of cases don't have a lot of information. So if there's anybody out there that has information on these cases, please let me know. One of the biggest thing is please make sure that, law enforcement gets your loved one into the NamUs database. I think that's highly important. It is looked at by a lot of people. It can really help. Make sure that you give the most recent picture of your missing loved one to law enforcement and keep that on the flyers. Please do not put date of birth on missing persons flyers. That is not good information to put out there. People can try to use that information for whatever reason that they want. So just, if you need help with anything, please feel free to reach out. Like I said, there's a lot of really great advocates out here that want to help and want to do things. There's some great resources. That is stuff that I'm getting together. I'm trying to put together on Guardian. I did recently add on Guardian the FBI VICAP flyers for missing individuals, but I also on my unidentified page, I did the same. I think those are very good places to look for information, especially the unidentified, because you just never know. I think a lot of times, I was talking to another advocate about this, I think a lot of times we just don't think, if the FBI is handling a case, how could it possibly maybe be my loved one? Or how could I really have any information about those cases? But I really, really do think that it is a good resource. I am thinking about doing a second podcast this week covering some of those cases just with the information that is out on the flyers. I don't know if you guys would want to watch a second podcast this week or not on that. I do want to just cover those. The other thing that I'm looking at doing is doing a podcast for unidentified. I feel like it would be good to be able to discuss some of the cases that are out there, identified individuals. I will tell you, I do encourage everybody to go and check out the unidentified pages that are out there. I do have one, but there's a lot of great ones out there. Genetics Uncovered does a really good job. Help ID Me is another good page. There's several of them out there. I just, it's not something that we ever want in a case for someone to be found deceased, but also the people that they have found that are either unclaimed or unidentified, we want to help get those individuals back home to their loved ones as well. So I do encourage you guys, if you want to go out there, please join the group. Look out there. I'm posting new stuff every day, but I have thought about doing a podcast for that. So hopefully, I know it could be hard because some of those pictures that are out there are graphic. I will put up a warning if I do an unidentified case that there may be some graphic pictures, but also if you do go out on the unidentified page, there are some pretty graphic hard pictures to look at, but if it helps locate someone, then that's what we need to do. So yeah, that's kind of what I have planned, and I'm working on just to see what you guys think about it and go from there. But I will definitely post out if I do that second podcast, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to do it this week, just covering, like I said, the FBI VICAP missing persons. They have so many cases as well out there, and get that information out there as well. But also I'm working on trying to figure out how I want to do the unidentified and unclaimed podcast. So again, thank you guys all for joining. You guys are all my thoughts and my prayers, and I look forward to seeing you guys either later this week or next week. God bless and have a great night.